Hi everyone, welcome back to 30 Days Until Done. I wanted to go to a very, very old form of art today. So we're going to go to the Polyphemus painter who painted and possibly constructed vases, we're not sure. And one of the very oldest of his urns from ancient Greece was probably the first depiction that still remains, at least, of the Greek heroes, right, the Greek literature. And it's the moment from the Odyssey when Odysseus and his men blind the Cyclops, and so that we've been working on Odysseus all this week for the last 2 days. This is our third day of Odysseus, and we've been doing sonnets. Today that's not the technique. We've done 2 sonnets, or maybe you had the option. If you want to do another sonnet, that's fine, but that's not the thing I'm going to be using. What I want to do is I want to reach back into history, because I'm having a conversation with 3 people here. The first person is me, of course, I'm part of the conversation, and then the Polyphemus painter. And then for the poem that I wrote here, I had a third conversation with a really obscure poet who wrote a really obscure poem. And it was John Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn, right? And his Ode on a Grecian Urn is one of the great poems of all of English literature. And so I made reference to it, and right in the first 3 or 4 lines, you'll hear reference to that. What I'd like you to do is also make reference to Ode on a Grecian Urn in some way, if you can, since we are writing about a Grecian urn. And this is an urn that was used possibly for the remains of a dead child. It was either the remains were put in it, or it was simply sort of like a monument for this child, right? And probably, maybe that moment was the child's favorite moment from that piece of literature, something like that. Okay, but if you know Ode on a Grecian Urn, it's all about the Grecian urn in the British Museum. And on the museum, on the piece, there's music and dancing and 2 people chasing each other. And Keats talks about how beautiful it is because we can't hear it, right? And so you imagine the songs, the laughter, all of that stuff. And of course you see the absolute beauty, but your imagination does something with it as well. And so in my poem, I reference that his poem. And so now I've got a 3-way sort of conversation. I've got conversation with Keats, conversation with the Polyphemus painter who's going way back, and I've got myself as well. And this is Odysseus blinds Polyphemus, the Polyphemus painter. Heard screams are terrifying, but those unheard are more terrifying still. The Cyclops shrieks on, his hand reaches out to stop a pain worse than death, that he'll endure until Poseidon calls him home again. Odysseus and his men don't shout or cheer, their faces calmly smirk as they bore out his eye, as though they understood when they landed here that this would be the fight they would be given. They're the smiles of pirates who kill, not to defend their land, but because killing is an amusement, because marauding is the life they love, because they seem to say they simply can. Right? Okay. That's a sonnet to this thing. You don't have to do a sonnet either, but that's one of the ways you can approach it. Okay, so when you're done, put it down below. I have included the painting, not the link this time. I'm sorry, not the painting, but the image of the urn on here, not the link, just the direct image. And you don't have to do any clicking off of this website to go find that image this time. Okay, when you're done, please put it down below, and I will see you tomorrow, 30 Days Until Done.